I thought I was working hard, but I was just lost. It was 2 a.m., and the glow of his computer screen was the only light in the room. Jake, a burnt-out software engineer, stared blankly at lines of code, feeling the weight of exhaustion pressing down on his shoulders. Despite working late into the night, he felt like he was getting nowhere, trapped in a cycle of endless tasks and stress. Every day felt like a repeat of the last, coffee cups piled up next to takeout boxes, reminders of productivity that never came. Jake's bank account was dwindling, not from lack of income, but from impulse purchases that filled a void he couldn't quite identify. He would scroll mindlessly through his phone, losing track of time as the weight of his financial stress crept closer. One evening, he paused scrolling to see a video about the impact of small habits. The speaker shared how tiny changes could lead to remarkable transformations. Curiosity sparked in Jake's mind, and for the first time in weeks, he felt a flicker of hope amidst the darkness. Jake began to reflect on his daily routines. He realized he had given up control of his time to distractions and mindless consumption. The thought of making changes felt overwhelming, but he knew something had to shift before he sank deeper into this pit of fatigue and worry. The first tiny habit he adopted was simply setting a timer for focused work sessions. For 25 minutes, he would dive into his tasks without distractions, followed by a 5-minute break. This small change brought a surprising sense of clarity and accomplishment, allowing him to regain control over his day. With renewed focus, Jake also took a moment each day to track his spending. No more impulse buys, he simply noted down every purchase, big or small. This awareness sparked a realization. He wasn't just spending money, he was trying to fill an emotional gap. As the weeks went by, Jake noticed a subtle shift in his mindset. The frustration that had once clouded his thoughts began to lift, replaced by a clarity he hadn't felt in months. For the first time, he could see a path forward, one filled with manageable steps rather than overwhelming hurdles. He began to prioritize his mental health alongside his work. Simple joys like taking walks, reading books, and even cooking became part of his routine, slowly replacing the mindless scrolling. Each small moment added a layer of fulfillment that he had long neglected. The financial anxiety didn't disappear overnight, but Jake learned to manage it with awareness. He set up a budget that felt realistic and sustainable, allowing him to save a little each month while still enjoying life. The burden felt lighter now, no longer a source of shame but a part of his journey. Reflecting on his journey, Jake realized that it was the tiny habits that had transformed his life. He wasn't just more focused, he was more present, more aware, and more hopeful. The changes were subtle but profound, paving the way for a future where he could thrive, both personally and financially. Jake's story is a reminder that small changes can lead to significant transformation. In a world filled with distractions, it's the tiny habits that can guide us back to clarity and purpose. Are you ready to take your first tiny step?